Good evening. Welcome to Chick-Fil-A and Eufaula and the Chick-Fil-A of Eufaula Coaches Show. Joined with Coach Darrell Jernigan, fresh off a round one playoff victory, Coach, 65-19.
Yes, sir.
I was trying to remember the score. Everything that stuck in my mind as I've talked to people this week was 62-0 with 7:18 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll never remember a playoff game going like that.
Nah, me either. That was the first for me. But I think we played well all three phases, and then the biggest thing I took out of that is we got our younger guys a lot of snaps, a lot of playing time out there in the second half.
No doubt. I know we had an opportunity to speak with you after the game, and I think I asked you the question: did everyone who dressed out see the field? And it seemed that way.
Yeah. I think pretty much we got everybody in. If you ain't get in, it's because you didn't want to go in.
Right. You were hiding somewhere, right?
That's correct.
So now, I know how many different ball carriers did we have? We had quite a few, 5, 6, 7, quite a few ball carriers.
I know we had at least 5.
Yeah,
at least 5 back there that toted the rock last Friday night.
That's right. And so anyway, that's great. We had a sophomore score a touchdown. I'm not sure if Jalen, that was his first.
Jalen, right?
Was that his first?
It was his second.
It was his second. Okay.
Second of the year.
So, and nothing fancy. I mean, I hate to say, I know you're not going to say what I might be willing to say, but we were talking about it before you got here. And, we actually kind of felt bad about how things were going so early in the game. I mean, it went from 48 to 62-0 in two scrimmage plays.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen broke the touchdown run and then pick 6 right after that. Of course, it was a scoop and score.
Yeah.
There was a block punt. There was 3 non-offensive touchdowns in the first half. You just don't see that happen very often.
Yeah, and I talked to coaches before the game. They're young, and he had some guys that quit on him. About 8 guys that quit on him probably like 3 weeks ago. So he knew going in the game that he was a little underman. And he told me that, and that's why the second half I don't think we threw it past that second half. We're trying to get our running game going with our young guys and try to see what they can do.
In the first drive of the second half with the young guys and with Ty in there, they looked good. Ty broke a long run.
He did.
Almost took it all the way in.
Yeah.
I'm sure you gave him a hard time about getting tracked down. But he, we thought he might be gone. And, of course, they didn't punch it in and got, Cooper got a chance to come in and kick one through. But in the second half went fast when y'all agreed to run the clock. Now, did the officials come? Did the officials initiate that? I've never asked this question before. Do the officials initiate the running clock, or does the coach that's behind initiate? Who initiates that?
Well, the official initiated, and he goes to both coaches and asks, but both coaches got to agree on it, and he asked if we wanted to do it, and I told him go ask him, and then he agreed on it, so I agreed on it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that works.
So, and I should already know this, but what are the guidelines for that? I mean, I know that there's like a mercy rule in baseball or softball. What is it in football? Is there a point differential at a certain time?
I don't think it's a point differential. I just think at the official discretion, how the game's going, and I mean the official can tell early in the game, that the other team's out, man, and then at halftime, he'll make the decision and he goes to each coach. So that's basically what it was on the official discretion.
I'm trying to remember. Have you been a part of a running clock game before?
I have not.
I can't remember. Doug, do you remember? The whole time we've been doing this, I don't recall one. So
I have not.
So that was a new experience, and that's why we're kind of unsure. If there was a certain you're behind by a certain amount, like I said, baseball and softball, 10-run rule or whatever. Oh well, but it made for a early night for everyone. There was no complaints from any of us up in the booth, so it was good. And like you said, you got everyone that got in there. Jalen scored the touchdown, but Ty McCoy, I mean, he got a lot of snaps in a playoff game. I mean, that's going to be really big for him next year, and hopefully he doesn't have to play any meaningful snaps this year. But that's really big. And then Jalen getting in there, and of course he's a sophomore, and then you got a Torian who's a sophomore, so you got 2 sophomore tailbacks coming back next year. That's correct. That's a good problem to have.
That's a great problem to have. Both of them good athletes back there. So I mean, we just wait on Jalen. All right, we mess with him every day at practice. During the JV season, he runs the ball really hard. And then I always tell him, and the Coach Rivers and Coach Lamb, the running back coach, always said that we're looking forward to him doing that on Friday nights too. So we mess with him, give him a hard time. But he hit it that last Friday. He hit that whole good jump cut, and then he took it to the house from there.
He did show good speed as well. So of course that Torian has next level quickness.
Oh yeah, he can run now. He can go.
So now Perry Denard, is that right?
Yes.
He's ninth grade.
That freshman running back.
Okay.
It's going to be a good one for us too when he actually learn how to get behind his pads and stop running so high. You know, he's going to be a good one for us.
So is his daddy Perry Denard
Correct.
also? That's what I thought. I know his daddy. So
yeah.
So okay. Well, that's all right. Well, you know, I'm sure it was a great experience. It's made for a good week of practice. I'm sure having everybody get to play as much as they did. Last Friday
great
night.
Week of practice. You know, I think this week of practice was pretty good. You know, Monday was good. You know, and Tuesday was good, and you know, Wednesday was kind of so-so, and then we came back today with another mental day locked in, ready to go. So,
okay. Well, we'll talk about this week's opponent, which is Faith Academy. It's a rematch from last year, but we'll take a quick break and get a word from some of the sponsors. And you're listening to the Chick-Fil-A of Eufaula Coaches Show. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, Tiger fans, Daniel Pulley here, your local Chick-fil-A Eufaula owner-operator. We are so excited to be the official sponsor of the weekly Eufaula Tiger Coaches Show for the 2022 football season. Join us for the live show at Chick-fil-A Eufaula every Thursday starting at 6 p.m. Our incredible team is ready to serve you. And don't forget, eat more chicken.
Precision Body Works is a state-of-the-art collision facility dedicated to providing customers with outstanding service and a quality repair experience. We have been serving Eufaula and the surrounding areas for over 20 years and have earned a reputation as being a premier collision repair center. Precision Body Works uses environmentally friendly PPG water-based paint and also offers 24-hour record service as well as top-of-the-line accessories from such brands as Cam Locker, Ranch Hand, Retrax, Weston, and WeatherTech. We are located at 1210 North Eufaula Avenue or call us at 334-687-4700. When it's football time, we at First Franklin Financial are big fans of our local teams, just like you. We've been part of the community for over 75 years, and when you need money for repairs or emergencies, we'll help you play offense. We offer fixed-rate loans up to $15,000 with easy payment plans and fast approvals. Visit 1ffc.com to find the location near you. Legal, all loan terms and applicable APRs depend on meeting our underwriting and income criteria for the loan size requested and may require collateral. Georgia Residential Mortgage License number 5656.
With the world changing all around us, everyone needs to be covered by insurance. So give Eric Glover with the Glover Agency a call and talk with Eric about auto, home, life, or last week's football game. Whatever your insurance needs, let Eric talk to you about being covered. The Glover Agency is located at 145 East Broad Street, Eufaula, Alabama. Call 334-687-0358.
Benny Whitehead Incorporated has called Eufaula home since 1965. Today, the family-owned business owns and operates 119 tractors and trailers and employs over 150 people. Benny Whitehead is nationally known as a leader in safety and keeping the air clean and fuel consumption low. Benny Whitehead Incorporated loves Eufaula and would like to wish Lakeside and Eufaula safe and successful seasons.
Hey, we're back. Chick-fil-A of Eufaula Coaches Show. And Coach Jernigan, this week, Faith Academy rematch from last year. You know, they came here last year. They're coming here again, 21-15 last year. What can we expect from Faith this year? They're you know, both teams coming to this game 8-3, so identical records. They played in that tough region in Mobile, but I mean, region number 2, you know, had Carroll's quarterback been able to go, it might have been a Region 2 sweep this last week. So
yeah, well, Faith's a good team. You know, they got some really good players. They got the receiver from last year, number 7, who plays receiver in DB, who actually scored all their touchdowns last year. He had a pick 6 and 2 touchdown receptions, so he's back. The quarterback back, which they changed his quarterbacks. They used 11 and 10 back there too. And 11 was quarterback last year, and then he plays a little quarterback and safety now. And then they got a really good linebacker, number 4, who's really good. So, I mean, so they got players, you know. I think it'd be a really good game. You know, last year was a good game. We had a chance at the end as we was driving, high snap, and, you know, Copeland ran back there, pick it up, trying to throw it out of bounds, just didn't have enough arm strength to get out of bounds in the end on the interception.
right.
So, I mean, we had a chance to win that game. We was driving late in the fourth quarter. I think it was like maybe 50 seconds to a minute left when we was driving. So who knows if that wouldn't happen, how it would turn out. So I think you expect a good game. Like you said, they got some good players. They got a good coach down there. So I'm looking forward to it. My boys looking forward to it. And I think we were really up for the task.
Yeah, the coach, best I can remember, and I hadn't looked at this information this year yet, but didn't he retire in Mississippi? He was like one of the.
Correct.
I mean, he's got just a ton of victories as far as the number. I mean, but he's like a 40-year career or something like that.
Yeah. Like I said, he's a good coach. He retired in Mississippi, came over to Alabama. So I mean, he got good players, good coach. So I mean, well-coached team.
Yeah, and they're battle tested playing in the region they play in down there. So I mean, people shouldn't expect a game like we had last Friday night, at least.
I mean, I hope so.
But, I know. Of course, all of us would hope so. But this is a game. But playing in any of those schools from down there, you just can't afford to have mistakes. You can't have the misfits on defense. You can't afford the turnovers. You mentioned the pick six in that game last year. That turns out to be the difference, the point differential in the ball game.
Like any game you play, you can't have those mistakes, but especially in the second round of the playoff, a game this big with this big of magnitude, we can't just afford that. We got to play, good discipline football, sound football, and make plays when they present themselves.
Right. And as far as we ask this every week, but health-wise coming into this game, I know that how are we health-wise? Is everyone pretty – I know it's football. It's the second round of playoffs, so this will be the 12th game they played this year, but relatively speaking.
Yeah, we got some nicks and dings, but for pretty much, we're pretty healthy, and that's always a plus going into the game, trying to get everybody healthy. But like you just said, like week 12 and play 12 games, you're going to have some nicks and dings in this game we call football. So, but for the most part, I think we're pretty healthy.
We're good. And we didn't talk stats. And of course, the crazy thing is in that game, we scored 62 points in the first half. And I'm going from memory now, but I think we started in their territory on every possession in the first half. I know we talked about in the previous game against Early County, we drove into the other team's territory every time we had the ball. But in that first half against Shelby County, we started in their territory every time. One time even 14-yard line. So
yeah, and that's good. And then that's a good test to our special teams. First of all, defense, getting the stop, and then special teams making sure that they don't get down and try to pin us deep or somewhat like that. But like defense and special teams doing a great job to get offensive ball with great field position.
That's right. And we had a pick six in that game, and as I'm sitting here, I can't remember the player's name, but it's not a player.
Jameer Thomas.
Another
one of my sophomores.
I was going to say we haven't called his name much this year, but he made a great play on the ball, came up with interception, undercut it, caught it, knew what to do with it when he caught it. So
yeah, and that was good for him because like Coach Larry said, when that happens, he does that to us pretty much every week in 707. That's because for one, he know the play. So he jump out there all the time and pick it off. And so just so happened it was a similar play, and he did the same thing. He's been doing at practice every week. So that was good for him.
It was good. It was a great play. And like I said, who's this guy? I had to look down the roster to come up with the name.
Jameer Thomas. He's gonna be pretty good for us down the road. He just got to keep grinding and keep getting better.
And defensive end Kevion Lamons.
Lamons.
Hido. We got some challenging names. Hido. But anyway, he would not be denied on that scoop and score.
Yeah,
he sniffed the goal line.
He probably knew because if he went and scoop and score, we was gonna give him problems when he got to the sideline and watch film. So he picked it up and he did all he could to get in the end zone.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking I can't recall him being on the offensive side this year. Has he played any offense at all this year?
He has. He when we go to our heavy package, when we had injuries when Jay Moss was down, Rehoboth, he got the key first down for us.
Sure did.
So
sure did.
He played a little bit of offense for us. So
yeah, I do remember that now. But I was just thinking, you got Lakeviante that's graduating. They kind of seem like they're kind of similar size.
Lamont's more thicker than Pew. Pew's taller though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just was thinking it was kind of a similar skill set potentially.
Yeah, but I Pew I say more athletic in the passing game on the offense side.
Oh,
of
I
the
don't
ball
know.
and
I
catching
haven't
and stuff
seen that.
like
I was just
that.
thinking
Yeah.
they're bookend defensive ends, 9 and
Yeah.
5. I get them mixed up sometimes because with my eyes looking from the press box, 9 and 5 kind of looks similar.
Pugh's taller, Lamont's more thicker.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll let next year take care of itself. But Faith coming in, and let's talk. People at home. First of all, I guess let's ask a question. Do we have some questions from anyone?
Let's see. Just asking about the kicker situation. No 22's been hurt. Will we see him more? That's pretty much it. Asking about why the helmet change, which I do like the helmet change. I mean, I know our Alabama fans, they don't like to change any kind of helmets.
The helmet change or the decal?
The decal, yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just something I let the seniors pick. And, I gave them a couple of options. They want to stick with the old traditional Paul or they want to do something else. So that's something that the seniors wanted to do, so we roll with it.
Looks good. Somebody asked about Red and 1,000 yards. He went over 1,000 definitely. I think with just a few yards he had last week, correct?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. So at this point, 1,000-yard rusher, 2,000-yard passer, and 1,000-yard receiver. Hey, that's a pretty successful offensive year.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. And we've talked about this. I don't know if we've talked about it on this show necessarily. Maybe alluded to it some, but I know we've talked about it during the game is the balance of our offense. I mean, it seems like we have the skill set to take advantage of whatever the defense has given us, whether that's through the air or on the ground. We've been very balanced this year.
We have, and that's something that Coach Cornegay pride himself on. He tried to be balanced as much as he can. But if we need to run it more, we run it more, and we need to pass it more, we pass it more. But that's one thing that he tried to do the most to stay balanced, so a team can't get certain situations on us and they always throw it here. So he tried to stay balanced.
Well, good deal. And back to the decal thing. Who designed that?
Well, it was a joint effort, and then we're going back to your traditional tiger eye with the circle tiger eye. So that's kind of something we wanted to do with us coaches. And we also kind of looked at the LSU logo too, because it's really kind of sort of like the LSU logo, but just EHS. And instead of the tiger head that LSU use, we use a tiger eye with the EHS going around it. So
right,
that's kind of what we're trying to got it from.
That's right. Well, I mean, to me, it's a good looking change on the helmets. And of course, is that going to be a tradition going forward that you allow the seniors to pick that? You're potentially going to change it year to year?
No, I don't plan on changing year to year, but that's something I let the seniors have the input in. But if they try to get too crazy, then I go ahead and just, I'll solve it for them.
I got you. Well, you mentioned the tiger paw, and we have had a tiger paw in there for a number of years, but that's not, I guess that is recent tradition, but you go way back. It was the number was on the helmet.
And that's something we thought about too. We thought about the numbers, either like the numbers on one side and the tiger out on the other side. So that's something we went back and forth. But we just want to do the same thing on both sides this year, so we went with that.
Right. So how many different uniform variations do we have? I guess we just have a red and a white jersey and red and white pants, right?
Not many. Yeah, and I'm glad we got an AD here, so we get some different uniform combinations for the upcoming years and next year. So but we got about 3 different combinations that we can mix and match, but 3 or 4 we can mix and match. So
I didn't know. There was no agenda or anything with that, but I was just wondering. So two, or they're just 2 different pants and 2 different jerseys currently? Or
we got 3 different pants and 2 different jerseys.
3 different pants. Help me out. What are they?
We got a gray pair, but our kids don't like wearing them. They say they're too big, so we just practice in them. And then we got a white and red pair.
I don't remember us wearing gray pants.
We wore it not this year. It'd been a couple years ago. We wore it down in Dothan game. We went gray pants with red jerseys with the red stripe coming down the side. But our kids don't like the gray pants. They said they don't fit them right. So
okay,
we asked for practice in them.
Okay, well, I don't remember that. It's just my memory, but it's pretty good. The red and white uniforms look good. I know there was some discussion, I guess last year, the year before, sometime or another, about possibly introducing some black into our uniforms.
That's not happening.
Okay,
so we can kill that.
I was just asking.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, traditionally, I guess the colors are red and white. So
yeah.
there's certain schools that like the traditional uniforms. Auburn, Alabama are both big on tradition, and Eufaula's kind of one of those areas.
Red and white with an accent of gray, not
right.
Gray and a little black.
Right.
Well, coaches look good in the black, so might incorporate that. Volleyball team, cheerleaders have it, so
Yeah,
maybe one day.
Oh well, we'll get. Like I said, we didn't talk about what we're going to talk about ahead of time, so this is all all impromptu here. So, but anyway, Faith Academy tomorrow night. What I was going to go to beforehand, you don't want to look ahead, but I know UMS Wright is traveling to Headland because Headland was a 3 seed and UMS was a 4 seed. We've always heard in the past if it was a team on the top of the bracket, the team below them would travel to them if all things were equal. Both of them traveled last week, but I think UMS is actually above them on the bracket they're traveling.
They are
because
but Headland was the higher seed.
Okay.
A few years ago, they started that. I think they talked about doing it round 1 and 2 to try to get the 1 and 2 seeds more at home. But I didn't realize it was all the way through till you told me that tonight. It does make a different aspect. I mean, you would think that we wouldn't be playing a number 2 seed being a number 1, and you got a 3 and a 4 playing right down the road, but just how it worked out.
Yeah.
So is there any possibility or precedent any way that a team could be at home all 4 rounds?
I don't think so. But depending on who's winning those other games that you face in the next round, but I think that's impossible right now.
If anybody has a chance, it's probably Gulf Shores being at the very top of the bracket, and it depends on what happens under them.
But if you had, just to say we're a 1 seed, Gulf Shores is a 1 seed.
They're on top of the bracket.
We're on opposite ends of the bracket. If all things are equal, we travel to them because they're on the top of the bracket.
Correct.
And the brackets are actually drawn up
way before.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I'm just asking questions. I knew the answer to, but everybody at home may not know the answer to them. But they're the same for every classification, and the region were placed where they were placed before, and they rotate that around.
Correct. I think like every 2 years.
Okay.
They rotate it.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm asking it as much as anything, that question for people that are at home, so that they think, some people think maybe it's not fair or whatever, or they think, well, maybe Gulf Shores, because they were ranked number 1 at the end of the season, they were the number 1 overall seed, so they were at the top. It's just the way it worked out.
Correct.
So,
well, it could be a good thing for us. It depends. But Gulf Shores plays Charles Henderson at home this week. Let's just say UMS Wright wins. UMS Wright would have to go to Gulf Shores because that's an in-region game, and then the next round, if we were to advance, not BC Rame because they're the same region, that would give us a notch up with them having to travel to us.
Correct. Because they would on the road.
Correct. Let's hope.
That's right. So if in hypothetical, you don't like to play that game necessarily, but if BC Rame defeats Demopolis, then they would have traveled to Demopolis. So when we win,
no matter what, third round we'll be on the road. No matter what.
Yes.
Okay.
No matter if Demopolis win, we're going to Demopolis. If BC Rame win, we'll go there.
Okay. Well, that was the answer I was looking for. So
no matter what, third round we'll be on the road.
Okay. Well, good deal. Well, anything else that the folks at home need to know about Faith, the game tomorrow night, other than everybody come out and
come out and support? We're gonna be in already game with white accessories. I think I know the first 500 people get thunder sticks. We got thunder sticks for the crowd. So they'll be every day at the gate handing out thunder sticks for you, and come out, be loud, and cheers on to a victory.
That's right. And we were talking off the air, something we didn't know, but there's no rule in the Alabama High School Athletic Association in football against artificial noisemakers.
Yes, no rule outside sports.
So cowbells, air horns.
Careful not us, Barber County. Somebody will hook up a train horn up there.
But it's all
legal.
It's all legal. Well, that's good to know. So if you're watching this and you got your cowbell and you just want to bring it along to the ball game, just bring it along. And
especially on third downs when defense out there, we need to be loud as you can, to get that. We call that money down and get off the field to give our offense back the ball. So we need a big crowd, need to be loud as you can, and like I said before, and our kids feed off that energy from the crowd. So we're expecting a big crowd.
Okay, well, good deal. Well, we appreciate it. And
Keith, explain player of the week this week.
Oh, that's right. Well, Coach, I'll let you explain player of the week this week.
Well, for me and all the coaches, we talked today, and we decided since the game last week, we couldn't come out with a definite player of the week. So we're gonna give player of the week to the whole team because we played a well-rounded game, offensively, defensively, and special teams. So that's gonna be a team ball that go up in the and my office in the indoor for the whole team.
Okay. Well, good deal. So, I mean, it was definitely a team effort. And as I was kind of getting things together after the game and looking at it, I was like, man, statistically, it just wasn't – it was one of our worst statistical games from the standpoint of yardage. And so, I knew that y'all would probably have a difficult time coming up with an individual because there wasn't any particular –
Yeah. So we decided on giving it a team ball because, we played 3 phases of football, and anytime you play 3 phases of football, you come out with a W. So that was good for us. Definitely
was that. So congratulations. And, hey, we look to be sitting here next week in week 13.
I appreciate it. And, one more thing, and I can say concession stand, we will have fish tomorrow night. We didn't have it last Friday. We ran out, but we ordered some, and we got some ready to go for tomorrow night.
That was the topic of discussion in the press box. We was going to go down and get some fish.
So everybody know we ordered some, so we back up running with the fried fish.
Well, that'll be good. That'll be good. So
that ought to be automatic. This is you follow.
That's right. Well, all right. Well, we're going to step aside for a commercial break. When we come back, we will have Zane Johnson, athletic director at Eufaula High School. He'll be joining us here on the Chick-Fil-A of Eufaula Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
Coach.
Hey, Tiger fans, Daniel Pulley here, your local Chick-fil-A Eufaula owner-operator. We are so excited to be the official sponsor of the weekly Eufaula Tiger Coaches Show for the 2022 football season. Join us for the live show at Chick-fil-A Eufaula every Thursday starting at 6 p.m. Our incredible team is ready to serve you. And don't forget, eat more chicken.
The family at Impressive Collision Center has been in business since 1940.
That's impressive.
Your transportation is one of the largest investments you have, so keep it looking new at Impressive. From a major crash to a small dent, Impressive can help.
Now Impressive.
They work closely with all insurance companies and give you a great price on your minor mishaps.
Wow, impressive.
And don't forget to check out all the accessories from install winches, brush guards, and bed covers.
Impressive. Give them a call. Impressive Collision Center, 317 South Eufaula Avenue, 334-687-4400.
Easy Metal Building Kits, pole barns, and metal roofing supplies. APEC Metal Express carries multiple kit sizes and colors with at-home DIY instruction. APEC Metal Express. Fast delivery, superior quality, excellent customer service.
Somebody cannot come to us, we go to them. It's something that we do on a regular basis, something we don't mind doing, and we work on a contingency basis.
No one has to pay us any money up front.
They do not have to pay us unless we collect for them, unless we are successful in resolving their case through a settlement or through trial.
They don't have to pay us any money unless we get favorable results for them. If you're hurt in a car wreck, call Penn and Seaborn. It won't cost you anything to see if we can help.
Of all the improvements you can make to your home, it could be the most important is not seen or heard, only felt. The ultra-quiet, energy-efficient Carrier Infinity Home Comfort System provides premium comfort with a whole home air purifier that gives you confidence you're breathing healthier air. It's an essential part of any healthy home.
At Mid-South Bank, we pride ourselves on being the friendliest and most helpful bank in town. For over 100 years, we've been helping families prosper and helping businesses grow. Mid-South Bank is a local bank with local people making local decisions. We're a community bank who will always be there when you need us. Whatever banking services you need, we're here to help. Visit us today or online at bankmidsouth.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Hey, we're back. Chick-fil-A and Eufaula. And while we at a second, we want to say thank you to Daniel Pulley, the owner operator here, for sponsoring this show. 2 years now, he's done that, and we appreciate that. And I think it adds to people's experience. If they want to know more about kind of what's going on inside the inner workings of the high school program and all. And speaking of that, we had the cheerleader sponsor Meg Blackman last week. We had Michael Smith, head basketball coach last week, and tonight we have Zane Johnson, athletic director. Zane, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us.
A pleasure. Great to be here. I'm usually watching the broadcast later because I'm usually at a sporting event, but it's just great to be on this end this evening. So thank you for having me.
And speaking of Eufaula, you've worn several hats in Eufaula since you've been here, and you've been here quite some time. Let's talk about when did you come to Eufaula, and what capacity did you come to Eufaula as?
Well, I was actually a student here, 7th and 8th grade. My family moved from Linden, Alabama, summer of '85.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir. I was here 7th and 8th grade. That was back in the Wayne Woodham, Dennis Anderson era.
You moved in the spring of '85, you said?
Summer of '85.
Summer of '85. Okay.
Yes, sir. That was prior to my 7th grade year. So really fell in love with weightlifting because powerlifting was a big sport back then.
Right.
Of course, I'd played baseball my whole life up to that point, but really got into the weightlifting part. And then we moved and went to Andalusia, which is where I graduated high school. Pretty much focused on baseball, played college baseball, Lurleen B. Wallace, then played at the University of Mobile. And then the day before school started in 1998, David Williams offered me a job at the old alternative school. Well, I knew I wanted to coach, and I knew I needed some football coaching experience. So Mike Owens was head coach at that time, and I went and introduced myself to him, and he told me to come out to practice that day. And I started assisting John Gilmore with 9th grade football at that time. And then I quickly got moved up to help him with varsity on Friday nights. The very next year, I was head 9th grade coach. And then the year after that, which was my 3rd year, I was appointed head middle school football coach. And Joey Brannon, who is our superintendent now, was my defensive coordinator.
Okay.
And we were one play away from going undefeated that year. We got beaten by Opelika in overtime.
Man.
So we took over the baseball program after that. We did that for 4 years. Our 2nd year, we won the area for the first time in many years. And then our 3rd year, we had a really good regular season, but got bounced in the first round by St. Paul's. We coached one more year together, baseball after that. And then in 2005, he went to Ozark and got into administration, and I got in administration here in Eufaula. And then, of course, he came back as our superintendent 2018. And then May, not this past May, but the May before, he came to me and asked me if I would serve in the capacity of athletic director. And, of course, I said I would. And our first task at that time was hiring a new football coach.
Right.
So we went straight into the process of screening and interviewing applicants. And I think we made a very good selection with Coach Jarrell Jernigan. And I've hit the ground running, and it's been a very fun and involved process ever since.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. And, of course, athletic director this 2nd year, did you come directly from the elementary school? I know you have been the principal at the elementary school. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I was principal at elementary school until 2017. And at that time, I transitioned to the central office in the capacity of at-risk coordinator.
Okay.
So I had done that up until and still do that. My title now is Parent-Student Services Coordinator, but I'm also serving as athletic director as well. And this is year 26 in the school system.
Okay. Great. So didn't know that you were actually a student in the school system as well, but that just kind of makes it even more neat. So 28 years in the system altogether then.
Yes.
Between all of it, between being in the classroom as a student, teacher, coach, and now administrator and athletic director. So pretty neat. Well, you've seen some success, as you already mentioned. As you were a coach, you saw some success. As an assistant football coach, we were just one score away from making the state championship game in 1999 down there in Mobile against Jamarcus Russell and Williamson.
Remember it well.
Yeah, so we've seen some pretty high highs. You witnessed some, and of course the cheerleader sponsor, we had Meg on here last week, and they've done outstanding. I mean, I saw where they won the Magic City competition after she was on here last week.
Yeah, she does a phenomenal job with them. My daughter Lacey was a senior, so she participated in that 4 years and graduated last year. But they're picking right back up where they left off last year. They've won in Huntsville. They won in Birmingham. I went down last week to see them in Mobile, and they were absolutely flawless, just head and shoulders above the rest of the competition there. So we really think we're in an outstanding position this year to make a run at that national championship and bring home the white jacket, which is kind of the equivalent of the green jacket in the Masters for golf, if you will.
Right.
But bring home that white jacket that goes along with winning the national championship in Orlando in February.
Okay, that would be great. That would be outstanding. Because that's tough competition, that UCA competition
is.
is.
Having been in Orlando the past 2 years, that is just a completely different environment down there. When you have teams coming from all over the country that specialize in cheer the way that they do, the level of talent and performances down there is stellar.
And transition, talking about basketball, as basketball season is about to start.
It has. Middle school has actually been going for a couple weeks now. Both boys and girls middle school basketball teams are 5-0, and their opener, there was some energy in that gym. That's about as packed as I've seen the middle school gym. We have got some extremely good talent coming up in our middle school ranks. Our high school opened up this past Tuesday against Dothan, which is 7A. Our girls, Rick Butler, he's serving as our head coach this year, and of course he was involved with the 2008 state championship team, and they look really poised to make another run at getting deep into postseason state tournament this year. Our boys, they came up short, but we still got a lot of boys that are playing football.
Right.
So once football season's over with, we'll get a lot of help from those guys coming in. But again, the talent level, of course, Coach Smith is legendary with his proven winning abilities, especially as we get on into the season. So really anticipating both boys and girls making deep runs into the playoffs this year.
That's good to hear. Now, so the girls actually won their ball game?
They did. They won. Yes.
That's impressive. That's impressive. And like you said, you follow, as he alluded to, several guys are transitioning off the football team. So they'll get some help. And he was talking about maybe not even being in stride until, around the first of the year, even January, once he gets those players.
And to go on the floor against a 7A team, Dothan, like we did Tuesday night, we were in it early. We were right there in it, and they just pulled it away at the end. But there's talent in what I saw Tuesday night. So I'm very excited about the talent that we get that's going to come over from football to mesh with what we already have out there. So like I said, it's a fun time to be a sports fan in Eufaula right now. This time of year, it's getting dark outside early. The weather's dreary. So, what a better way to spend an evening than go to your gym and see your local high school team play some good hoops.
Well, there's crossover because there's football season still going on. You've got basketball starting. Is there anything else sports related that's going on right now?
Of course, cheer. We had a really good volleyball year. Coach Hicks and Coach G, they do a fantastic job with our girls volleyball. I had a really good season. Came up a little short in our area tournament versus Beauregard, but we were in it with them as well. And then we came up a little short when we played in the Super Regional. Montgomery got put out by Elmore County. Our spring sports, they're already having their tryouts. Tennis tryouts, baseball, softball tryouts, they're taking place. I'm already hearing some talk about golf. I've had some conversations with Coach Brown about track. Soccer, been talking with our soccer guys, Coach Black, Coach Daniels, for boys and girls soccer. So all that'll get really going once we get back from January. So we're pretty much nonstop now until close to the end of the school year. With
Keith, I got one question for Zane. This year, I think it was starting this year, I was asked about girls flag football. They went from 1A to 5A this year, where we had been competing with 6 and 7A schools, and that was the ones that was edging us out in the playoffs. This year it was 1 through 5. Looked like we had a shot, but I don't think that they had a team this year. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, we did not field a team this year. We just had a lot of transitions that were going on, so we weren't able to fill one. But I've already had some conversation with some folks, and we're looking at hopefully to get that back next year, because I know we've got a lot of girls that are very interested in doing that.
Very athletic.
Hopefully, yes, absolutely. So hopefully we can get that back.
Now, the flag football season, does it run parallel to the men's or to the boys' season?
It does. Actually, Central Phoenix City is in the Final Four tonight in their classification, and the finals will be. They have been, and I'm guessing it still is, the afternoon before the 7A championship, which is on Wednesday, I think.
I believe that's correct.
They play the girls flag football.
Right.
Then that'll be at Tuscaloosa this year.
Yep,
okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we will take one final commercial break, and we'll be back to wrap up the Chick-Fil-A Eufaula Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
In sports, every point counts, and at Alpha Insurance, we know when it comes to your budget, every dollar counts. That's why we work to get you the lowest rates and best discounts available. Plus, every Alpha policy comes with personal service from our hometown team. Call Alpha to start saving today. In Eufaula, call Alpha agent Keith Bryan at 334-687-8268 or stop by our office at 1326A South Eufaula Avenue. R.W. Wingate and Company is a full-service accounting firm and a supporter of Eufaula High Athletics. They are located at 102 North Orange Avenue, Eufaula, Alabama, but licensed in multiple states. Richard W. Wingate has over 25 years' experience in public accounting, and the firm's services include personal and business tax preparation, bookkeeping, sales tax preparation, payroll services, audit of nonprofit and government entities, and business consultation. When doing extra is the point, contact R.W. Wingate and Company for your accounting needs.
In 1983, the first mobile phone was introduced to the public by the Motorola Company, and that was the same year Pam Freeman started her State Farm business. For 40 years, both have saved time and money. Whether it's auto, homeowners, condo renters, personal articles, business, life, or health, Pam Freeman State Farm has been there for you. Call Pam's office and let Kathy Bennett help you with all your quotes and needs. You won't find a more helpful staff anywhere. Come by and see them at 322 East Barber Street in Eufaula or call 687-7034.
Stephen W. Bryan, candidate for Barber County Commission, District 2, is a big supporter of Eufaula Tiger football. Stephen lives, works, worships, and shops in our county, and his motto is, I am here. He plans to be accessible to the people of his district and will share his personal email and phone numbers. Stephen says, I ultimately will answer my God for the choices I make and take that seriously. I will be teachable, respectful, genuine, a man of integrity, and above board in every decision I make for the betterment of the whole of Barber County. Paid for by the Friends of Stephen W. Bryan for County Commission.
Attention contractors, is your metal roofing provider slowing you down? APEC Metal Express fills orders within a week. 40-year finish warranty, 17 different colors, and multiple truss styles. Work more and wait less.
Barber County's original newspaper for local news is The Clayton Record. The Clayton Record is a Cherry Hill media publication that has been around for over 150 years, covering Barber County and the surrounding area. Online and print subscriptions are available starting as low as $2.99 per month. Call them today to sign up and never miss what's going on. Visit www.claytonrecord.com or call 334-775-3254. Covering the county from the county seat, the Clayton Record.
In 1983, the first mobile phone was introduced to the public by the Motorola Company, and that was the same year Pam Freeman started her State Farm business. For 40 years, both have saved time and money. Whether it's auto, homeowners, condo renters, personal articles, business, life, or health, Pam Freeman State Farm has been there for you. Call Pam's office and let Kathy Bennett help you with all your quotes and needs. You won't find a more helpful staff anywhere. Come by and see them at 322 East Barber Street in Eufaula or call 687-7034.
Hey, Tiger fans, Daniel Pulley here, your local Chick-Fil-A Eufaula owner-operator. We are so excited to be the official sponsor of the weekly Eufaula Tiger Coaches Show for the 2022 football season. Join us for the live show at Chick-fil-A Eufaula every Thursday starting at 6 p.m. Our incredible team is ready to serve you. And don't forget, eat more chicken.
So we're back on the Chick-fil-A Eufaula Coaches Show. Zane Johnson here with us, Eufaula City Schools athletic director. And Coach Johnson, facilities-wise, I mean, I'm always kind of proud when somebody like Shelby County comes in. Just when all the lights are on and you've got the indoor practice facility sitting back there and all. Everything's just impressive. But, they got, the lights on the baseball and the softball fields. I remember back when they had to go play at Creektown because we didn't have those on-campus fields. But what else is on the horizon from the facility standpoint?
Oh, yeah, speaking of Creektown, when I first started out, I remember that well. We were actually having to share that field and alternate time. So, yeah, we have really grown in the area of facilities, starting, of course, with the indoor facility. And when I came on board last year, the brand new tennis courts were just getting finished, and they are super nice. The good LED lighting, 6 fantastic courts out there. This year, baseball and softball fields are getting renovated. We're getting new fencing, new scoreboards, windscreens, netting on the backstop. So we're just continuing to look at ways to upgrade our facilities. Director of Operations, James Bailey, he does a great job with that. Of course, with working with our superintendent, Mr. Joey Brandon, and our Board of Education, they do a fantastic job with supporting our facility upgrades. We've got some football things that we have been talking about. Don't really want to reveal that at this time, but we do have some things that we have seen at some other places that we've been to this year. So that should drop a pretty good hint on a couple of things that we've seen that we would like to potentially get at our stadium as well. One upgrade we did get on the football field this year was our goalpost nets. Those have been needed for a long time. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people at the concession stands get took out by extra points and whatnot, even in warm-ups. So glad that we got those in place. But the potential never ends when it comes to what we can do and would like to do when it comes to facility upgrades.
Well, I know that I guess this wouldn't be a facility upgrade, but we got the robotic thing that paints the field. And, it took a lot of time off the coaches. And a lot of people that sit at home don't realize all the different hats that the coaches wear, but they get out there and have to spend a lot of hours painting that field for home games.
That is big. When I first came on board in 98, I was at the old alternative school, which was right next to Buchanan Stadium. So I would actually go down, and you're right, that takes an entire day on a Friday, and that is tedious, time-consuming work that coaches really need to be utilizing to prepare for game day. So yes, the purchase of that that can be programmed in on GPS, and it pretty much does the grunt work itself. That has been a tremendous improvement and has saved our coaches a lot of valuable time on game day that they can use spending getting ready for the game.
And I remember when Coach Clagus was here, he kind of took pride. I think he got out there and rode the lawnmower even some.
He did.
But Andrew Dunson, I understand, is handling the fields this year. And I mean, for the first round playoff game, that field last week looked about as good as I can never remember it looking.
That's fantastic. It is fantastic. It is it's like Robert Trent Jones fairway grass out there. We joke around all the time. And when I get down there, I want to pull the 3-wood out. I mean, it is that clean. And he is out there all the time. He's out there on Sunday afternoons. He comes in Fridays after the games. You'll see him second half sometimes. He's coming down there to get ready to work on the field. So we're very fortunate to have partnered with him to keep our grass looking the way that it does.
I've always heard coaches say in high school football, if you were still playing when the grass turned brown, you was having a successful season.
Mm-hmm.
If we're playing when that grass turns brown the way he's taking care of it, we're going to bring home a trophy.
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, but I've seen him, as you said, as I walk out of the stadium, see him sitting down there waiting for the last people to get off. He's been sitting on that real mower waiting to go out there and run over it.
Right,
so on Friday night after the ball game, 10 o'clock. So
absolutely.
So that's dedication, and he's done a great job with that.
Yes.
So So one thing Doug and I would like to make one request as we're talking about facilities upgrades. And I don't know where you'd put it. We've got a very nice press box in our stadium. The stadium, is what first season was 2001, I think.
2001, yes.
So this is the 23rd year, I suppose.
Which is hard to believe.
It is. And we still refer to it as the new stadium, but we're almost a quarter of a century in.
I know it.
It's hard to believe. But one thing I was wanting so bad was because we go to some of these big places. It's not uncommon in the 6 or 7A area for their for their press box to have restroom facilities. Is that anything that's ever even been discussed or on the agenda?
It has not, but we can certainly discuss that. I can see where that would.
Well, now Zane goes back. Now we've talked about this. I was on that committee when we did the football stand. A lot of people don't realize a lot of money got pulled from us right as we had planned everything. We had a great superintendent that made sure our classes. We had our classrooms was the first thing. We didn't have portable classrooms and all that stuff. And then right as we got ready to build, the governor changed some things and a lot of money got taken away from us. And we were fortunate to be able to build. We found some clauses where we didn't have to have an elevator. We didn't have to have the restroom facilities because it was already a practice facility and some things that went along with it. A lot of people don't realize y'all still pour a lot of money into the program. We served on a committee. I don't know if we can talk about that. I'm sure we can, but James Bailey's involved in it. Because of the way the world is now, a lot of money had to be shifted to safety and things going on in school systems. So a lot of things where the tennis courts used to be, I don't know if you can talk about that. I know y'all have plans for that in the future. But sometimes the education, safety, some things come first. And as much as you'd like to see it put in football, you're wanting to put it in football, we know, or in other sports, but sometimes it just has to take a back seat because there's not enough funding.
Right. Well said. Yep. Safety is all. I mean, that is our number one priority each and every day is safety. Everything else is nice and we like having it, but this day and time, the things that we're seeing, unfortunately, all the time, we have to make safety our number one priority.
And y'all haven't forgotten, for the people out there that's not, things are in the works as much as y'all would like to see it. If it wasn't for, we don't have $46 million like somebody in Mobile to throw into an athletic facility at this point, but y'all have plans for where the tennis courts used to be. Actually, y'all have huge plans for the front of the school, the grass area, but that's just something that's going to have to come with time or more funding at some point.
Right. Correct. Yes, sir.
Are you at liberty to talk about the potential wish list?
No.
They hadn't been forgotten. They're working on things.
Okay. Well, the scripture comes to mind. You have not because you ask not. So I had to ask the question. So, but yeah. Back to the restroom thing. People never even think about this, but people like us, we're up there. Doug gets there really early. He's there, 5 o'clock or so. I'm there 5:30, 5:45, whatever. But from then till a long game lasts till 10 o'clock. That's a long time up there, and it's a long way down.
Right.
As I get older, it seems like those bleachers are taller and taller and taller when you climb those steps. If I climb those things, I'm out of breath for about 10 minutes. I can't even talk on the broadcast. So anyway, that's just an opportunity with you here to bring up a subject that.
Now, last week wasn't bad. That was one of the quickest games I think we've ever.
Running clock, second half.
Yes.
I cannot remember a game period that was over before 9 o'clock. And that was about 8:57 or so. It was before 9 o'clock.
I think there was a hurricane game.
That started at 7 o'clock.
Was it Valley or something? It's funny how times have changed. Now, if it rains hard, you're canceling a game or rescheduling it at some point. We actually played a few days after a hurricane on an afternoon game at Old Senior Stadium because we wasn't sure we was going to have power. Right. Now, who would do that now? So
I remember it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday game, yeah.
Right. So a lot of things have changed. But one thing we didn't talk about, I meant to bring it up during the commercial break, but I guess I will now. It's our last segment. next Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So we hadn't talked about a potential coaches show next week. I guess you'll just have to tune in tomorrow night for us to let you know what our plans are.
We will we'll address that and try to have an answer tomorrow night. That's not really something I want to go ask Jarrell about tomorrow, because then I'll be looking ahead. So that may be something you have to look for on Monday on the webpage.
There'll only be one if when we win.
But, if we win, we'll definitely have. It may be recorded and dropped on Thursday, or maybe something we do Friday morning. We'll get with coaches and Daniel from here and see what they want to do.
Sounds good. Well, Zane, we appreciate you dropping by. I'm sure everyone enjoyed listening to some of the things that are going on with the athletic department, and there's a lot more to it than anybody ever thinks there is.
Oh, it is, and I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our administrators. They worked tireless hours to put on the production that everyone sees on a Friday night. So our assistant principals and principals, they're just stellar in what they do. So. That's
right. And of course, this is another question that popped in my mind as we were wrapping up here, but not asking ours necessarily, but a 5A school of our size like this, what kind of overall athletic budget would a school have? I mean, is that something y'all look at a whole piece of a pie and then kind of divide it from there?
We do. That's pretty much the best way to state that is yes.
So the board gives you a certain budget, and then you have to divide it out and allocate it from there.
Based on needs.
Yeah. Is that done yearly, or is that kind of several years out? Is it yearly? Mm-hmm. Because I know a lot of times things pop up, and you just have to have a year or two ago, whenever it was. I don't know. I'm usually there before they set them up, but like the metal detectors.
Right.
A lot of people don't like that, but it's for everybody's safety. Right. And Joey Skinner does a great job with that. I said one time he's the only person I ever seen that made sure the cheerleaders go through the metal detector. So
we don't do that anymore.
You ought to feel safe that he's making sure everybody's checked. Everything that goes into that stadium. So, but things like that aren't cheap, and they pop up, and it's got to come from somewhere.
Right. Well, we appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And that'll do it for another edition of the Chick-Fil-A If You Follow Coaches Show. For John Wade Robinson, Doug Apple, and I'm Keith Bryan and Charles Urban. We'll hopefully be with you next week, but we'll definitely be with you tomorrow night, 6:45 pregame show, 7 o'clock kickoff from Tiger Stadium. Eufaula.
Bring your noisemakers.
Yeah, bring your noisemakers, your air horns, your cowbells, whatever else. And but we'll have it for you right here, the audio only, tomorrow night, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff from Tiger Stadium. Until tomorrow night, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.